And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly, truly fantastic day today. So recently I was checking out an episode of 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Carmelo Anthony, and they were discussing, is it okay that modern NBA players are so buddy-buddy with each other? And basically Carmelo was saying, well, we're friends off the court, but when it's on the court, it's strictly business, and he doesn't see anything wrong with it. And I have to disagree. Now, let me start by saying this. I believe this notion that all of the older school players, the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, that they were all enemies, that gets to be overblown. We know this is not the case. There were some friends back in the day, and there were some enemies. Obviously, Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas comes to mind. Larry Bird and Dr. J comes to mind. There were some fierce rivalries of teams that, really played like they hated each other, and it is what it is. But there were also some friends as well. We know that Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley developed a friendship, and that didn't stop Michael Jordan from averaging 41 against the Phoenix Suns in 1993. But I remember watching a documentary about Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, and basically at the beginning, Larry refused to be friends with Magic Johnson. Like, Magic Johnson wanted to be friends. Larry Bird refused it because basically Larry said he knew personally that he would be incapable of going out there and playing as ruthlessly as he needed to play to try and win if he was truly friends with someone. And I think that's commendable as well, because you have to know yourself from an individual standpoint. Some people are capable of having friendships and still competing. Again, like I said, I mentioned Jordan and Barkley, but that didn't stop Jordan from being a killer on the court. But Larry Bird felt like he couldn't have that kind of friendship and still go out and compete that ruthlessly. So I think you have to know yourself. But in general, like I said, back in the day, there were players who actually had friendships off the court. But what I think is the difference between then and these modern players is, first of all, modern society. We all know that a lot of the problems that are in the NBA that make the NBA hard to watch, that makes the NBA almost unbearable, at this point I would say completely unbearable, is really problems that we just have in society, right? The problems of everybody being super entitled. And another problem that I believe that we have, especially with the younger generation, is the idea that in order to be friends, you have to totally agree on everything. This is the way the younger generation operates, is that in order to be friends, you have to agree on everything. And if you disagree with something that I do or say, then you're not really my friend. This is very evident by the numerous NBA players. One in particular I can think is the false king, the deer, the duck, the leader of the 4 and 6 kingdom, LeBron James. But we've seen multiple players do it. But, seeing them unfollow each other on Twitter because of some criticism that was made. But we've definitely seen LeBron James do that. So part of the problem, I believe, is that, again, it's that mentality that you can't disagree with me and be my friend. And I think that extends to the basketball court. It's like, because we're friends, I can't compete in a cutthroat way against you. I think this is evident by Draymond Green. Look what happened when Draymond and the Deer became friends. I feel like since they've become friends, we have not seen Draymond compete really hard against LeBron James. Correct me if I'm wrong, and somebody can, I would love to hear an instance of it in the comments if someone can think of an example. But to me, Draymond has not competed hard against LeBron James since they've become friends. And again, and not only that, but since they've become friends, Draymond has become part of the unclutched narrative machine of constantly pushing ridiculous narratives about LeBron. Again, because that is, if we're friends, you have to agree with everything I do. And it seems, especially if that friend is in a more power position than you are. So I don't completely think that that the problem is them necessarily being friends. But I would also argue this, that because of that, because, that it's this need to be politically correct with each other, that they're actually not really friends. I believe true friendship in this modern era in the NBA is probably few and far between. Like, it's really surface level stuff here. Like I said, they're all politically correct with each other. They don't want to compete against each other. I'm talking about the superstars, but when the players who compete harder are the non-superstars. Watching someone like Dylan Brooks go at LeBron James or somebody. But as far as the stars really trying to give each other the business, we don't see that. And I think that's because, like I said, it's this political correctness, which leads me to believe that it's all fake. We've heard the whole narrative about LeBron James needing to be liked, but I don't think it's just LeBron James. I think it's most of the stars in the league have this need to be liked, the need to not upset each other and that kind of thing. And again, going back to the deer, the duck, why I say it's fake friendship, because to me, if you just look at the so-called friendship between him and D-Wade, and this is my opinion, fanboys. I don't want to hear any of your comments. I don't care what you have to say about this. This is my opinion. But to me, if look at anything that LeBron James participates in, D-Wade shows up for LeBron. Even if it's the ridiculous ESPY Awards that we saw last year where LeBron James gave one of the most ridiculous speeches and had his wife introduce him as the GOAT respectfully and all that. D-Wade shows up for LeBron, but LeBron James doesn't seem to show up for anybody else. The so-called guy who needs to be liked and appear to be this good guy in front of everybody, and he's just friends with everybody. He doesn't show up for anybody else. So again, to me, this is this is more evidence of this is fake friendships. This so-called buddy is like, these aren't real friendships taking place here. So again, to me, it's not really the fact of them being friends or not. It's like they don't really want to compete against each other. Again, this goes back to what the All-Star game has looked like for the last several years. This goes back to the fact that none of the stars participate in the dunk contest. These guys don't want to compete against each other. And so, friends or no friends, I think that's really neither here nor there. I think the real problem is these guys don't want to compete against each other. And I think a lot of people think it is because they're so buddy-buddy. But I would argue it's just because they're not competitors like that. Again, because I think the friendships are actually probably pretty disingenuous between each other. Again, the friendships are really, like I said, it's like this political correctness amongst the stars of where nobody wants to step on each other's toes. Nobody wants to truly go at each other and say, yeah, I'm better than you. Like when they tried to compare Clyde Drexler to Michael Jordan in the 92 finals. And Michael Jordan was like, hey, look, I'm not saying he wasn't a threat, but him being compared to me, I took offense to that. Because I need everyone to know that I am the guy. There is nobody else close. These stars don't want to go at each other like that. So like I said, it's this political correctness between each other. However, like I said, I'm not so sure the problem is actually them being buddy-buddy with each other as much as the fact that they are just not competitors like that. Back in the day, when we played basketball, even playing against some of my best friends, on the court, you would never know we were best friends. It would get heated, sometimes almost come to blows. But after the game, we would go back to being best friends. And who knows, that might take 30 minutes to an hour for everybody to cool off. But, we would go back to being best friends. But on the court, we understood that, hey, unless you're on my team, you are the opposition. So, if that means I have to foul you hard to stop you from getting an easy bucket or whatever it is, I will do that. I'm not going to take it easy just because we're cool. But again, to me, that's because the fundamental base is that we're competitors. So it doesn't matter that we have a friendship. As a competitor, we all understand what that means. We all understand that, hey, again, if you're on the opposite team, basketball is a contact sport. Injuries are possible. I'm not going to take it easy on you because we're good friends. And so, yeah, like I say, to me, fundamentally, it's not even really about whether these guys are friends or not. To me, it's just they're not competitors like that. They've proven it in every single way possible, and there is no one or no fanboy out there who can convince me otherwise, who can come in here and make a legitimate case that they compete as hard. All the evidence is there. Like I said, from the not participating in dunk contest to the All-Star game and to the fact that these stars just will not go at each other. So to me, like I said, I don't have a problem. I don't think the NBA is too buddy-buddy per se. I just think that these guys are not competitors. Because if they were true competitors, them being friends wouldn't matter. I think that conversation has come about because it just doesn't look like they're competing. So we need a reason for why that is. And so the reason has become, oh, well, they're so buddy-buddy nowadays. But that's not really it. They're not competitors. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think about the modern NBA being so buddy-buddy? Do you think that is a big problem, or do you think the actual problem has nothing to do with them being buddy-buddy and it's just about the fact that they're not competitors? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly, truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.